So if you guys wasn't around for the High Score Blood Warfare on April 1st, April Fool's Day of this year, we had, of course, last year the High Score Blood. I hate saying that, the High Score 1,000 Year Blood War. The High Score Blood Warfare. You would know that last year we had something similar with the guys looking like, high score delinquents. And then this year we get the goals. And if you saw my reaction, you knew exactly what I was barking at. But the question is this real or is this fake? Now, of course, it just depends on what you think is real or fake, right? Are we going to get a new novel, I think, is the question. So let me break down of what I think is going to be the conclusion of this fun little, I guess, April Fool's joke, shall I? But before I get into that, hit that like, that subscribe, of course, because some of you, are just not hitting that subscribe button. So hit that subscribe, hit that like. And as always, people, let's get right into it, shall we? So we have basically a bunch of the Bleach socials on X basically promoting this on April Fool's Day. There was not really anything after April Fool's Day of them promoting this. But, I mean, there's some interesting things here and there. So, did Kubo post about it? Of course, Kubo posted about it. Did Bleach World and Jump J Books that do the, the novelizations of Can't Be Your Own World, did they tweet about it? Yes, of course. And did the author, Narita, tweet about it? Yes and no. And the interesting thing with Naruto is that he basically says he hasn't even been asked. So it's funny that Shueisha as a company are out here saying like Naruto is doing a new project and it's going to be the High Score Blood Warfare. And Naruto's like, am I? And I don't know if this is common or not. I've been in the anime community for quite a while. And, it's not completely uncommon for people to know that they're doing something based on like an announcement. Though be rare, it's not completely out of the question. I've seen stranger things in this industry. But the thing is, Naruto isn't really against the idea either. So here's where I think this is going to go. I think that last year on April 1st, when the first edition came out, I'm just gonna not say it because it's very confusing towards me, is that it was extremely successful. They did cafes, they did merchandise along with the Lotus of Brave exhibition, which they're redoing again, and obviously this is going to be good promotion for, again, merchandise and cafe collaborations, and that's good. I think the fact that the first one did so well kind of spurred them on to do a second rendition. And if that does well, then where do we go with this? And I think the question is that, there's this rabbit hole we can completely go down on. But if I think I know Bleach business, and I think that I somewhat do, I feel like this has layers upon it. And I feel like if this does well, then I do think a novelization will happen. And is that a good or bad thing? Well, if the novelization does do well, to which I think it kind of will do, unironically, especially if the merch and everything else is doing well, then of course this can be an anime adaptation. And why do I think that is important? Core 4 of Bleach has just started production. We had a TV Tokyo thing with Taguchi and Murata talking about how Core 4 had just recently started production, to which we get some amazing, fantastic character designs of Keisuke Urahara and of course Yoruichi Shihoin, which I'm going by the character design so far. I'm very pleased with what they've done with Yoruichi. And might I add, and again I can't quite remember, someone will probably tell me in the comment section down below, is that in the manga I don't think that Keisuke's Bankai was really shown in its full glory, so to say. So in these character design sheets, we get to see Keisuke's Bankai in essentially its full form, basically. We get to see everything beyond the face, and Kubo just didn't need to give Keisuke's Bankai an ass, but he did, just for no reason. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, very happy about that. Looks very cool, and so many times I can say cool in one sentence to describe something. And while we don't have a date on Core 4's announcement, what I can say is after Core 4, which it will happen, that day will come, the question of Bleach's, I guess, where it's going to go in the future is going to be very scarce on the matter. I think the next step that you go after 1,000 Year Blood War is Can't For Your Own World, and that's because there is a big prologue within Can't For Your Own World that ties into essentially the epilogue of 1,000 Year Blood War arc. I truly believe that it's going to be very difficult to really end off Core 4 because, again, you have, Kazue and Ichika, right? Are they going to be in Core 4? And if not, how are they going to end Bleach? Are they going to do it with just killing off, spoiler alert, killing off Yuha or sealing him? Are they going to end it off with them sealing Aizen? Are they going to end it off with the epilogue of Can't Fear Your Own World? And if they do end it off with the epilogue of Can't Fear Your Own World, then surely they should adaptate Can't Fear Your Own World to go with that, right? So there's a lot of questions in the air, and I think Core 4 will really give us a solidification of where Bleach is going to be going in the future. And it's going to be a very interesting one, to say the least. It's especially, there's going to be a lot of theories, a lot of speculation in regards to that. But there is going to be time where Core 4 ends, and there's going to be that space where something is going to need to happen. Anyways, there's going to be a long period where we may get more Bleach, we may not. I do think we'll get more Bleach, but the question is, what will it be? Will it be Burn the Witch that keeps us preoccupied for a little bit? I think it's done well for Aniplex, and I think Pierrot Films are going to want to continue it. They've got the team for it. It's known as the Bleach team. So where do we go from here? And I quite like the idea, and I know many of you will oppose to this. And I know I'll get some backlash for this. But just like with Attack on Titan's high school spin-off, I genuinely think they could do something really fun in the meantime until content is made or pre-production or planning is made for them to do something like a serialization or a novelization of the high school blood warfare. Because it's nice to sometimes not have serious Bleach all the time, and it's nice to see characters interact with each other and do something goofy and fun and make some memes out of it and just generally overall have a good time. So I do think that in that interim of Thousand Year Blood War, to have a nice little spin-off that will keep us grounded for a little bit, sell some merchandise, do some cafes, do some amusements for, I think they're doing a thing in the Bandai Game Center in Ikebukuro, which is a big thing, again, for the Japanese audience, a big money maker. So it gives a lot of, in my view anyway, a lot of marketing creativity here, because Bleach is obviously very marketable, but there's only so many times you can, refresh assets. I mean, look at Bleach Brave Souls, for example. Like, how many times are they going to reuse the same Thousand Year Blood War characters just in different variations and different poses, right? And, the only thing I think going for Thousand Year Blood War for Bleach Brave Souls at the moment is the seasonal stuff, right? So you need that creativity, you need a different variation of things, whether it be chibi, whether it be full character models of like merchandise, and I feel like this is that thing. And I think that, they dabbled with it with, the Bleach puzzle game, making them chibi and making merchandise of that too. So again, I think, in terms of the whole Bleach ecosystem, the question is this real or fake? And I feel like this is a very strong example of testing the waters, and if it fails, it will forever just be an April Fool's joke. And a lot of products and a lot of things have came out of April Fool's jokes. If it gets received well, money talks. And I do think that this is something that we could potentially see later on down the road. So I'll leave it off with that. Do you think Narita is actually going to go forward with a novelization of the high school blood warfare? Do you think that this is a good idea? Do you think we should completely just overlook all that, go straight into Can't Fear Your Own World? I know you're going to say yes, but again, we won't know until Core 4. And do you think we should just focus on Burn the Witch at that point? Again, anything can go, and I'm very excited to talk about that future. But the fact is that we have a future, and that is very happy for me and you guys too. So with that being said, tell me your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below of what you guys think. With that being said, I'm going to catch you motherfuckers later. You guys, of course, have this fine day, Hansen. As always, people, peace out.